shit. Totally forgot that I pressed click stream. Give me one moment to get my shit set up. I completely forgot I'm clicking it, so I'm not even looking at the stream right now. Give me 1 second here. Yes, we need to go to YouTube to open up my stuff. As you can see, I'm gonna be under 0 XP waste always doing something. Making some cash in the background, because I want to start working towards buying another upgrade, so need some money. Damn, this soundtrack goes hard. Holy shit, I did not know that this soundtrack was so based. Oh, there's a new solo settled video out. Cool. Alright. What was I gonna look at? Oh yeah, my YouTube studio. And this is a shit show. Where the fuck is my stuff? Live, there we go. Now it's exploring live. What am I doing? YouTube studio. There we go. So it's the right one? Yes, we're good here. Okay. Content. Live. Go into the control room. I wonder why it says I have that. Okay, oh. Whoopsie. Okay. Alright. We're gonna get started. We're gonna record a little bit, because I'm probably gonna put this on the channel, because I want to give my ramble / opinion about the stuff, so give me one to make sure the audio sounds good. I'm just making sure the audio sounds good here. 1 second. Yes, I'd like to look at the videos on my computer. That'd be kind of nice. I'd like to look at the video from today, if possible. The 3rd? What's the 3rd? 1 second. I just try my idle notifications. Is it active for this? It'll move me. Okay. Turn this off for now. Actually, yeah, just listen to this, make sure it's good. Cash in the background, because I want to start working towards buying another upgrade, so honestly it sounds kind of fine. It might be a little bit too loud on the music, but just turn the music to like relatively close to full. Good enough. And then we'll probably just on my end. Okay, now we're gonna go to the monitor screen, start recording this stuff. Okay, so thoughts on this new Project Rebalance. This is like a pretty big change for the game so far, and I thought I wanted to talk about it for a little bit. I haven't read this at all. I'm kind of doing my first impressions and give some insight as kind of like a mid-level player to see how I feel about this. Give like a bit of a different perspective on it kind of thing. Let's go over it. Okay, back with our second Project Rebalance blog. This one's one's likely to be much shorter than our previous healing focus blog. I haven't looked at anything about this at all. So I am kind of curious what they're going to do. I know like the gist of what they've talked about. I'm not going to watch the video because I think it's just going to go over the same thing as the article, so let's go over the article. That being said, technical blogs, DPS calc numbers in general aren't your scene, then don't fret. We'll be opening the beta world right as this blog goes live to give you some hands-on experience. Oh, so it's actually live. I don't think I'm going to try it out. I mean, I probably should before I have any strong opinions about it, but I'm just not going to make very strong opinions about it. Our focus for this blog is rolling out rolling out changes to NPC defense, including adjustments to their existing defense bonus values, as well as adding some new defense types in the form of split up range defense and elemental weakness for mage. Okay. I think they talked about this. They wanted to make like a pierced or like a heavy, something like that one, so like you can use the ballista in some cases. Maybe like the longbows or something will look more intensive, they're thinking. If you'd rather skip out and read the loads of numbers and tables, we've got you covered. Check out the video below here for an explainer on the wonderful Coxie, who's taken a short break and obtain every pet as quickly as possible so we can break into today's blog for you. Okay, cool. Before we get rolling, yeah, imagine if these dragons are weaker to magic. That's fucked. I guess in this case it's saying, but whatever, it doesn't matter. One of the primary motivators here is kind of selfish, in that these changes provide us more levers to pull for balanced NPCs in the future, which in turn provides us with new avenues to meaningfully explore, expand the reward space. Reward space in old school gets trickier every year. Power creep is something both you and us are extremely conscious of, and try to exercise sparingly where possible. In some cases, like raids, it makes more sense to move the needle upwards, but it doesn't make sense to display something like Twisted Bow with the reward from Slayer Boss, for example. In these cases, we've been increasingly filling the gaps or niches to introduce items that flesh out horizontal progression, meaning items like the Dragon Hunter Lance that really excel in a couple of use cases but don't outright beat every other melee offering. Yeah, so horizontal progression meaning basically, alright, makes sense. Offer more things that are interchangeable or have specific use cases as such. So they're talking about, yeah, niche, they fill in gaps or niches. So yeah, exactly. Okay. That aren't directly better than something else, like in all situations. The idea of bringing the right tools to the job is a huge part of the OSRS feel, where many MMOs have incremental systems of items or power creeps. Power increases bit by bit to determine your power. Most or all scenarios, our gear progression has big jumps, breakpoints, and discrete points where you really feel a big increase in your combat potential. This ties into our second goal: making these changes help us engage player, encourage players to make more specialized weapons and styles for future and certain NPCs. Okay. There's pros and cons to this, because I worry it's all of the question it comes down to is just balance. Because like this is all well and good. I have my hands on the fucking F keys by default. Whenever I'm playing RuneScape. That being said, it's all dependent on balance, right? Because it can get into a realm where it's like it just becomes more annoying to bring more gear. It doesn't feel good. Like, it feels cool to use certain gear in certain situations. Totally agree. But it also feels kind of cringe in some situations to have to bring, like, if you have to bring so much gear because you're basically useless in all other situations, it's just really annoying. Like, in the case of something like Perilous Moons, it's all melee, so you don't have to swap your melee gear that much. And you just have to swap your main weapon around depending on which boss you're fighting, which is kind of cool. And that's, like, cool. I like that type of stuff. Or, like, when you're in raids, there is a couple gear swaps, but beyond just having a set for magic, a set for range, and a set for mage, or whatever, set for melee, you're pretty much good in almost all those situations. I think when you get and it's cool to have different stuff like this is all fine with me, or having different styles and stuff like that, or different types of range damage, but it's all just how it's balanced. It could be really horrible, or it could be good, which, I mean, it's kind of like a nonsense statement, because of course it's always how it's balanced, but it's gonna be really important for this. Okay. Yep, okay. Feels more rewarding to use new things that exploit the filling gaps. Okay, cool. Our final goal is a little less broad than the other two, and that is to make elemental spells, your earth, air, water, and fire on the standard spellbook have more defined use cases across existing and future content. This is going to be kind of good. I think that the standard spellbook is just giga ass right now as it stands. It has so little utility, and we really could make it more useful. Have more defined use cases, blah, blah, blah. The dawn of powered staffs realize no potential of ancient magic's coordinated vengeance usage or the consistency of thralls has left standard to someone in the dust in mini combat scenarios. True. The only way it's even competitive is if you're using the Harmonized Nightmare Orb with Fire Surge and Tome of Fire, and you're basically only using one spell and saying the entire other book doesn't matter unless you're doing like PvP or some shit. So yeah, it's kind of bad. I think though, part of why that sucks is no, I mean, spellbook's just bad. It needs to be buffed. It's not fun to use, really. While there are some niche examples of Fire Surge proving to be particularly handy, an Ivan's Blast remains a fan favorite amongst fresh-faced Iron players. True, it's rare to get much direct combat out of this utility out of the spellbook. So to sum up before we move on, the goals are provide us with further levers to aid in further future balancing, allowing us to meaningfully expand on reward space in future updates. Further encourage players to bring specialized weapon styles for certain NPCs. Give elemental spells a more defined use case across existing content. Cool. There's the why. Now here's what to expect with the how. We'll be going into each of these a little in more detail and further down. Implement elemental weaknesses. Supplement elemental weaknesses with elemental spell scaling. Okay, exaggerate existing weaknesses, increase a new split range weakness, light, standard, and heavy. I guess, yeah, there's no reason to change melee, because as it is, melee kind of is fine. I think they just want to add more different use cases, so we're not all just using, like, blowpipe and Bofa or T-bow and shit. Okay, we're going to tackle these one by one, and we cap off with providing some tools and data you can play around with everything you read, so you can set survey rolls with all the info. Oh, okay, maybe I will try this out for a little bit. Probably not now, but maybe a little bit later. Okay, elemental weaknesses, elemental spells, Interestingly, elemental weakness is a stat that already exists in a handful of NPCs, denoting which style of spell they're weak to. Currently, this weakness is just a flat double damage bonus, but it's not communicated with players only on a small number of enemies. Really? There's enemies where this is true already? Where? Elemental weakness? Fire giant? Water. There's nothing here about this. This is Adamant Dragon. Wait, Adamant Dragons? One second, I didn't notice that. Let me see this. Adamant Dragons. Multiple attacks which resemble. There's literally nothing about this. Is that what they said? Maybe I sorry. I don't even see this on there. Maybe I'm just mistaken, whatever. Anyways, so the way it's currently set up is to tackle. So they want to make it so our first step is to only make elemental weakness visible via monster examine. Okay. Is that they mean the spell monster examine, so we can see it? That's only a handful of monsters. 50% earth weakness. And what is this weakness is just a flat out double damage bonus, but it's not communicated well. So in this case here, if you have 50% earth weakness, does that mean you take double damage? So from Earth Surge is actually the best shit to use. Because that'd be kind of goated if that's the case. Anyways, I don't think it's going to change anything, but still. With communicating this more clearly, we'll look to make elemental weaknesses more granular, meaning we can change exactly how weak an NPC is to a specific elemental rather than a blanket. The numbers can be twice as big on a true or false setting. For every point of elemental weakness that an NPC has, your spells of that element will gain plus 1% accuracy and plus 1% damage. That means casting fire from an NPC who has monster exam displays weakness fire by 50%. Will gain 50% bonus accuracy and damage. I wonder if this also applies to like fire arrows. It's probably unlikely because fire arrows are just poo-poo, but interesting. Okay. Or certain like special attacks. I wonder if there's like certain special attacks that will like do damage. Whatever. When it comes to factoring in your magic damage, elemental weaknesses will look something like this. Okay, so it's additive. So this looks like base damage times magic times. So it's the base damage of your spell times the magic damage percentage bonus plus elemental. So these are independent sources. So even if you don't have this, it still might be worth it to use it. But I mean, oh wait, if it's additive, that's pretty fucking huge. That means it really benefits your base damage. This additive approach means they receive a bigger buff in more middling setups, but don't scale to astronomical power setups and offering high magic damage boosts. I think that's accurate. That's correct. And I also, man, I fucking hate the way they write this type of stuff sometimes. Because, like, if you just put, like, oh, 0.5 elemental weakness times 0.5 magic damage, that's gonna, like, it's gotta be, it's base damage times 1 plus this amount. But that's a very pedantic thing to think about. It's not that big of a deal to worry about. It's clear what they mean. That approach means that they receive a bigger buff. The only reason I'm saying this is because sometimes they'll say shit like, oh, it increases your minimum hit by this percentage, which makes like no sense logically. Like, what do you mean by it increases minimum hit by this? If you say it increases minimum hit by 10%, 0 and 10% more than 0 is 0. It doesn't make any sense. But I've interpreted it to mean 10% of your max hit is now your base hit. Like, the range is now only between the 10% at the bottom. But anyways, that's a whole separate thing. I'm not going to get into that right now. It doesn't really matter to talk about that. Anyways, ultimately this gives the standard spellbook a bit more foothold for combat progression, though it's not going to be the case that you suddenly go from using Dragon Hunter Lance to using Earth Surge against enemy dragons. These fleshed out options for players throughout the Magic Tour, but aren't looking to displace properly optimized setups yet, because they piss off too many players if they have to actually start fucking changing shit too much. I personally don't care that much about this type of stuff. I mean, like, look, I think if it was the case that Earth Surge was approximately the same down damage as Dragon Hunter Lance, who cares? Like, who gives a shit? You know? Because just like, it's fine. I don't mind changing up the meta that much for this type of stuff. I think it's okay. You know, the Dragon Hunter Lance will still be useful in situations, in certain setups. So I'm not saying like completely dethrone it so it has no utility ever. Like, we don't want to make items have no utility. That's a really bad idea. But like, it's okay to make things comparable to it. But that's a separate thing. Elemental spell scaling, that's all well and good, but as anybody who's Fire Striked or is struck their way to the early game questing knows that higher level elemental spells do more damage, with fire being the strongest and whatever air being the weakest. This means that casting fire spells is always the best damage option. This might lead to some oddity in the earlier stages of progression where water spells might lose out to fire spells, even if an NPC is weak to water. Yes. The big problem about all of this, they have to talk about the Tome. They have to talk about the Tome of Fire and Tome of Water. They have to, because they essentially completely invalidate the earth and air setups. Because they, Okay, they're gonna talk about it. Okay, cool. They have to talk about it because it's so critical to talk about them, because Earth and Water will be left out otherwise. We'd like to let players choose to whatever spell an NPC is weak to, rather than defaulting to fire in all scenarios. We'd like to have each tier elemental spells, Strike, Bolt, Blast, Wave, Surge, share the same max hit up to a cap of the existing damage. Ah, I see, okay. In simpler terms, a player with level 5 magic would have a max hit of 4 for both Wind Strike and Water Strike, since the Water Strike is the highest tier spell unlocked and has a max hit of 4. If the player ascends to the lofty heights of level 13 magic, then Wind, Water, Earth, and Fire Strike would all have a max hit of 8, since their highest strike spell unlocked is Fire Strike. This would apply to all of the elemental tiers, meaning Strike, Bolt, Blast, Wave, Surge, but none of these tiers would scale past their current max hit, meaning even at 99 magic, you'd still hit a max hit of 9 with any strike spell. These changes mean players are free to use whichever element they want, but would be incentivized to use different types that depend on their opponents rather than defaulting to fire spells. Some of you might be thinking this is a pretty significant buff to air/wind, but for... The guy isn't mining. But for general use because they're cheaper rune costs. But this is okay. Sorry. It's pretty significant buff to airwind for general use because of their cheaper rune costs. This is exactly what I was just going to bring up. It's like they have a cheaper rune cost, but this is counteracted by no NPCs having specific air weakness, so that air spells are solid generalists without excelling as a cheap option. Okay, so they're going to fix this basically to make it so that there is no benefit to doing this. Okay. The only thing I want to look up is the only thing I'm not a big fan of. I think this is fine. I think all of this is a good option as of right now. The only thing I'm kind of interested in, though, is like you unlock the different spells at different levels. So I guess it's not like, I guess the issue is like, what if you're like at level, what level do you unlock Airbolt at? Oh, come on. Unlock this level 17. So if you're like level 17, you'll have a level 8 hit that comes from Fire Strike or any of the other strike spells, and then a level 9 that comes from Wind Bolt. Well, it depends on how the elemental damage and weakness works. It might just be... I think it's... because the thing I'm thinking of is mostly like... is mostly like what happens if you're having to deal with oh god, what's the term I'm trying to think of in my head? The thing I'm trying to think of is like, what if you're having to deal with a monster? Sorry, you level up. I'm trying to think if there's any like issues that come up with like leveling up, not having access, and you're gonna have to use like a weaker version of the spell to kill a monster. I mean, okay, you know what? Maybe that is the case, but like, so what? Just level up your magic, maybe. I don't know what I'm even trying to say now that I think about this. I think this is actually fine. As a suggestion, I don't really have any complaints about this. I need to think about it more. Maybe if I think about it more, I might have a different opinion on this. I think overall this is like kind of okay. Yeah, because like honestly, you get to level 13 magic so quickly. It's not a big deal. You get to these magic levels so quickly, and then like... To me, okay, I guess the thing that just feels a little weird. It feels... Okay, now I think about it more. I think I'm able to put more into words what the feeling I had was. I think I was more concerned with it being like this progression where it's like, hey, you need to... Oh god, what was I trying to say? I felt kind of weird about this progression where it was like, it's going to be really hard. You have to, like, it just feels weird to be unlocking the elements for each spell differently, at different rates. Does that make sense? Like, I think this is a good fix in terms of, like, okay, we'll have water, earth, and then fire, and then, like, what's it called? You unlock fire at level, is it 13? Right, 13. And then all of a sudden you now get access to all the different ways. You have all the different elemental styles to attack enemies with, right? Which is fine, because 13 is a really low level. It's very easy to get to level 13 on any account, for the most part. And with that level 13 magic, you then can use that... what am I trying to say? I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say. I'm like tired, so I keep forgetting. There's something weird about it that to me that feels like you're not going to get all the different spells of the same tier at the same time, even though the damage is going to be similar to them. It just feels weird to lock the ability to use... Like, if they're all going to do effectively the same damage, I mean, obviously it's depending on your level, right? But up to a maximum of 8 at level 13. But it just feels weird to lock all the damage of the spells, to lock the ability to use particular elemental types, which monsters might be weak to, behind level, but then, like... No, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm so worried about this. I think it's fine. I think this is actually fine. I was going to say it feels weird to lock the elemental type behind level, but not the damage, but you are locking the damage behind the level too. It does feel a little bit weird because it's like, oh, I'm going to get earth, and like now all of a sudden my water spells are doing the same amount of level as my earth. Like, why is my earth at a higher level to unlock? Why is it at a higher level? What's it called? I'm sorry, at the game is people talk about stupid shit, so whatever. Anyways, it feels weird to unlock earth strike at a higher level than like water strike, yet have them both do the same amount of damage. That just feels bizarre. Like, why wouldn't you just unlock them all at the exact same time, and then the damage scales up until you reach level 13? That's my personal take. I think that might be but I do like the ability to have to unlock fire later than air. I think if I were to design this, no, I think this is the best way. I think unfortunately this is the best way to do it, but that's okay. That's okay. I think this is the best way to do it, but who cares? Anyways, okay. These changes are mean players free to use whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. And this is how they're gonna remove the air being the weak, because yeah, it's a generalist spell type. Okay, fine with me. Before we move on, you might be wondering where exactly this leads to Tome of Water or Tome of Fire. The Tome of Water Fire was designed to be at a time when the goal was to make the standard spell more relevant, and it succeeded in doing so to some extent, albeit only for fire spells, only while the tome was equipped, with the aim of these changes being to make element spells relevant throughout the player's entire progression rather than depending so heavily on a single item. We'll be looking to reduce the damage of Tome of Fire and Tome of Water down to 10% for their respective elements. This still makes them the best in slot for their target. use cases by a significant amount while being more obtainable than other magic offhands like the Elidness Ward, and not being relied on to carry an entire spellbook's combat relevance. In PvP, the existing Dangerous would be unchanged. Players themselves don't have elemental weaknesses, so reducing the effectiveness of these tomes isn't necessary, and Magic struggles to compete with other styles enough as it is in PvP scenarios. Okay, I don't like this. This is kind of adding further to, I mean, I don't really do PvP, so I don't really have much of an opinion, but this is adding further to that issue of PvP, where PvP is like a completely separate rule set and game than the default game, and that's just making it harder and harder to get into PvP, which I don't like, but that's okay. I don't really care that much about PvP. I mean, I do want PvP to be like better, but I'm just, yeah, this is just making it more annoying, but it's whatever, I get it. What was I going to say as well about this? 10% damage for their respective elements. Yeah, it's going to be weird to like go into, what's it called, to like fight a monster with Earthstrike and you just don't have a Tome of Earth. Maybe the solution is just to add a Tome of Earth and a Tome of Air, but who knows. Okay, this is for more, okay, cool, range defense types. Okay, cool. So, one of the things that makes melee feel, one second, start chipping at my dense essence blocks. One of the things that makes melee reward space feel so diverse is that melee defense is split up into 3 different types: splash, stab, slash, and crush. Combining these different bonuses with the defense level of NPC means that different situations might warrant the Scythe, Wizard Mace, or Osmund's Fang. Which situations require an Inquisitor's Mace? Oh wait, a will deboss or 2? That's it? Okay. Or perhaps see a faster weapon like the Blade of Silidor, Karazi, or Brown Corner. That's best option. Range defense is just what it says on the tin, regardless of what weapon type you're using. Regardless of what weapon types you're using. While factors like the target's magic level, hit points, and overall defense level play, or etc., play a role in distinguishing between the Twisted Bow, Toxic Bow, Pepzeric, Crossbow Bow, Ferridahin, range defense isn't really a relevant distinguishing factor here. We'd like to take that same approach as melee has and split range defense into different types into 3 categories, allowing us to better promote some weapons over others in certain NPC encounters, providing us more avenues to meaningfully expand on range weapons, range rewards space in the future. These types are dependent on the ammunition that you're using and look like this: heavy bolts and javelins. Okay. Standard arrows, this includes the bow, Ferridahin, crystal bow, magic arrows are still arrows. Okay, nice meme. And then light, darts, knives, and other thrown weaponry. Or thrown axes. Even javelins are in heavy, I guess. Thrown axes are light? Okay. The problem I'm not 100% sure with this solution is... I'm trying to think about the range progression. Crossbows... Blowpipe... Short bow. Is this a good idea? Maybe. I think this might be okay. I gotta think about this a little bit. I think this is overall fine. But yeah. Since these defenses are it's just really gonna depend on what they do. Like that's the problem for the range one. The mage stuff I don't really care that much because like at the end of the day I don't know how much this is really gonna matter. Like in raids, like powered stats are just so valuable, and like enthralls are so good. I mean, maybe you can make elemental stuff like if you have the Nightmare Staff with a Tome of Fire or a Elidness Ward or something like that, right? And then you're also dealing with elemental weakness. I mean, in some cases it will be just better to use a standard spellbook. But yeah, I'm also just curious about Ancients. Like, this is all good for this, but what about Ancients? Like, Ancients, we have Blood and Freeze, which are good, but you're just kind of reliant upon their secondary functions then. Like, can they freeze people, the healing you're getting back, which is kind of nice. But Smoke and Shadow are still completely useless. Maybe they should also make weaknesses to the ancient stuff, too. I don't know. Okay. Since these defenses are based on the ammunition that you're using rather than specifically how you're attacking a weapon, you won't suddenly have a bunch more gear bonuses to manage it or anything. You won't be accumulating with bonuses just for heavy range accuracy. You're having to select between heavy/light attacks in the same weapon, just that the ammo you're using will hit more often than enemies who are weak to it. Yeah, also, how is the defense... It's okay, it's going to be like exactly like melee defense, I'm assuming, where it's like literally, are you just more accurate or less accurate? Okay. In the examples we've outlined below, the some NPCs might have had reductions in one range defense type, or increased in others. It's better to carve a niche for variety of range. I agree in general. This is better for the long run to do this. If there's an NPC we don't specifically mention or touch on in the examples and list below, you're safe to assume that all three range defense types are equal to their existing range defense, meaning that the NPC with 70 range defense would have 70 light standard and heavy range defense are totally unchanged. With the scene set and you equipped with everything you need to know, let's talk through a handful of examples. Okay, cool. So let's look at this right here. Some examples. This section is going to feature a more detailed look at one NPC, a slightly more top-level look at two more, then a provide table summary summarizing everything we're looking to change. Oh, they're going to provide everything in this list. That's crazy. Okay. We'll also include a link to a detailed spreadsheet so that you can see the specific numbers and each change, and we'll include some links to a special version of OSRS Wiki DPS Calc where you'll be able to see how different setups are impacted at different NPCs who've had all their numbers and elemental weaknesses math plugged in. I'd just like to say once again, Jagex proving to be one of the best game developers in existence. So few companies, I feel like, do this type of shit. Like, are willing to just show, here's our logic, here's our rationale, let's have a discussion about it, and be willing to take on the feedback and the criticism, which they do in stride. And in some cases, I think it's completely unwarranted how shitty people are with them, considering how nice and generous they are with all their stuff. And we don't have like crazy bullshit predatory stuff in our game like microtransactions and loot boxes, but whatever. Anyways, example 1, Adamant Dragon. Everybody's favorite walking slayer points. The Adamant Dragon is a seriously tanky NPC. These metallic menaces have high hit points, decent defense bonuses, and a whopping 272 defense. There are no pushovers. Let's take a look at their live versus rebalanced stats and then dive into exactly what that means. Okay, cool. So, okay. So keep the same defense levels, stab defense, slash defense, crush is the same. Range light is them, it's roughly 95, so they're gonna have these 95, 95, 65. By the way, I'm not a huge fan of the way this is like, these are labeled. I wished it was, because we don't have melee stab, melee slash, melee crush. It just feels like I wish we had a better term for these, because it just looks kind of a little right now. Note that they currently have range defense of 95% with the same values in all three defense with marked with an asterisk. Note the changes here are reduce stab defense by 10, reduce range defense by heavy defense by 30, add 50% element earth weakness. It's pretty simple from here to work out that this means players will experience greater specialization with stab weaponry, especially if they're still waiting on a Dragon Hunter Lance, see more success with earth spells at some points, and further cement bolts as the go-to range option. These numbers for defense bonuses changes might not look like much, but the way that the defense works in old school means NPCs with higher defense levels are more impacted and much more significantly by changes to defense bonuses than NPCs with lower defense levels. Yeah, because it's multiplicative. So the defense level multiplies with your defense bonus. So a level 2 creature, a monster with 10 defense and 10 defense level 10 defense and 10 bonus to the dice type you're using is way more threatening than one with a 5 and a 15, 5 level 5 and 15 defense bonus. So I mean, the numbers might be worked out, but it's something proportionally like that. In other words, reducing stab defense by 10 impacts an NPC with 272 defense more than an NPC with 50 defense. Yes. We ran some numbers using these changes for 2 progression points, the first being more mid-game with stats around 80 using gear like the Rune Crossbow, Aram's Robes, Black Dragonhide, Fire Torso, etc. While the second that comes is absolutely max stats in gear. Let's take a look at some really quick comparisons. Keep in mind that magic damage and elemental weakness aren't multiplicative. Right, so the max doesn't increase by a flat 8% in each case. Yeah, cause it's the base damage times it, right? Okay, so mid-game setup, live max hit with Earth Blast is 20, live DPS is 1.8. Rebalanced max it would be 28. Earth Blast has a hit of 20 naturally. a 50% bonus to the damage would only be 8 more damage. Wouldn't it be, if it's 50% earth weakness, wouldn't it be 30? Or am I misunderstanding there? I'm kind of confused about that math there. OSRS Earth Blast. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Earth Blast is not naturally... It naturally hits 15. Okay, so how much is the bonus for that then? Well, 15, I guess. Okay, 15, 20 minus 15 divided by 20, right? Or sorry, divided by 15. So there's a 30, wait, what the fuck are they talking about? Am I just high? Oh, this is just, yeah, I'm so confused. One second. Let me just think about this for a second here. So, how are they getting 20 here? Am I just crazy? It seems like the Earth Blast base max is 15. Is there a, if you're using an occult necklace, maybe I'm just mistaken here. Occult necklace and this is 15% more damage, so 1.15. And a Staff of the Dead. I guess if you're using a Staff of the Dead, and that you're getting around 20 damage, but that's not as mid game as I think. Especially because she's okay. Whatever. I'm not gonna worry about that much. I don't agree with that number. Anyways, okay. But then the rebalance would be 28, which would be a plus. Yeah. So if we're assuming, like, to me, a mid game setup for this would be like, oh god, what am I even thinking? Maybe like a lava staff at most if you're on a main account. If you're not a main account, just a fucking like earth staff. Maybe I'm wrong there, but whatever. So 15 times... Well, actually, yeah, 15. The max it would actually be different, because it would be at the level of Fire Blast, right? It would be 16. So it'd be 16 damage. Yeah, times 1.5, right? 24. Yeah, I don't think they did a great job explaining this, because I'm confused as fuck about this math that they're getting here for this number. This just seems very bizarre to me. Maybe I'm just really stupid. Let me see this for a second. So it's 16 is what it should be hitting. Times like 1.3, assuming you're using Staff of the Dead, that's 20, and then times another 1.5. You should be hitting a 31.2. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're getting here, unless they're assuming it's only 15 damage, which in that case, they're fucking up their own math and their own diagram here. So in that case, if that's the case, 15. Oh, sorry, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. 16 times 1.3 is 20.8. Right, but then you have to add 16 times 1.5. Or sorry, 16 times 0.5 is 28.8. Okay, so it's around 28.8. That's about average. I can understand that. Broad bolts 29, rebalance hits 29. Yeah, it's just more accurate is all. Dragon Scimitar has no effective change at all. Dragon Sword would be a little better. Warp Scepter would have no difference at all. Go from, but it'd still be kind of ass. Or Warp Staff, whatever it's called. Oh shit! I don't have an infused unused blood essence. That's bad. Or an activated blood essence. Oops. Okay, max setup. Harmonized staff plus Earth Surge would be 7.7. Live DPS is only 4.5. It's kind of ass. Blade of Salador is kind of crap. Dragon Hunter Lance 7.9. Still the best setup there. Sanguinesti staff would be meh. Dragon Hunter Rails with Dragon Bolts. You know, I think that kind of makes sense to me. I think I'm relatively. 1 second. Just text my girlfriend a good night and that I like her. I love her. I love how there's always political discussions going on in RuneScape at some points. All right, look at these setups. We can see that the elemental. This is going on for a while. I gotta wrap it up here pretty soon. Here. Look at these setups. We can see the elemental's weaknesses. Addition shoots earth spells into relevancy, particularly combined with the harmonized staff. It's still gonna cost a lot of money to use, and you won't be taking damage. So it's actually kind of based to use this. Choose earth spells. Rebalanced live max hit is 34. Interesting. Setups, blah, blah, blah. While keeping the direction of specials on options, just like both see an increase in DPS potential, particularly in the lower tier setup. And even the humble Dragon Sword is a pretty significant jump in power. This ticks all of our existing boxes, making elemental powers, elemental spells in place now, starting best in slot gear, better capitalize on existing niches so they feel more rewarding to actually run in the first place. These next two examples aren't going to feature any DPS, though you're welcome to experiment with making your own using our DPS calculator slightly further down, but focus on examples of our reasoning behind the changes and the ways we'd like to achieve various goals. Gargoyles are an absolute classic Thunder monster who's technically weak to Crush. Remember from that point about how defensive bosses are less impactful on lower defense is a prime example. Crush is the strongest attack style to use versus Gargoyles on paper. I'll answer that later. On paper. But in actuality, the difference between Crush weapon and a similar stab/slash weapon isn't all that significant. Coupled with the fact that it's easier to gain access to potent slash weapons like an Abyssal weapon and something like the Abyssal Bludgeon. It's just not really worth delivering some crushing blows to single gargoyles in your area. Hilarious. Nice meme. They want to rebalance it so the stab is more potent, slash is more potent, but leave Crush to be weaker actually, so it's more potent. Okay. Same thing with rain heavy defense. Just make heavy defense better. Elemental weakness, they're not putting anything for it. Changes above aim to really cement Crush feeling worthwhile against gargoyles, especially with the zombie axe introduction by creating a bigger disparity between Crush and other styles, but using slash or stab weapons. Guys, they're giving utility to Crush, finally. They're giving you, your Inquisitor's Mace is going to have value. God bless. By creating bigger disparity between Crush and other styles, but using slash or stab weapons as you likely are using at the moment should feel just fine. Additionally, we roll out another heavy weakness for range since the ammo breaks rocks. Give a javelin a go in your next round of rocket precision and we'll never see it coming. Ha ha ha. Giant mole? I'm so curious to see the full change list. I'll read it in a second. Giant mole, defense level. Blah. Just giving it water elemental. We're looking at adding a hefty elemental water weakness to various things. Water spells could attack a real punch and open up another viable avenue for farming one of the most loved pets in the game. Sure. Looking at hefty, blah blah blah. This means water spells. We chose this example because it doesn't specifically push any existing weaknesses, but it does open avenues for new farming methods to the boss or content you engage with for primarily later in your journey. In this case, pet hunters. It doesn't necessarily push the twisted approach to get out of the spotlight, but we're curious if this sort of approach is an area you'd like us to further explore or just leave it alone. Honestly, I'm kind of cool. I like this idea. I think it's cool. It makes the game feel a little bit better. More utility to more stuff. I like it in general. I like this approach in general. Anyways, okay. So we've covered the why and how. Let's take a full look at which NPCs are changing below the table that effectively summarizes whether an NPC has had an elemental weakness added or whether it's melee defensive bonuses have been adjusted and whether an NPC has had their split range and defense types been adjusted. For more information on the specifics of those numbers, you can click here. This is their spreadsheet they made. It looks so nice. this is the actual number breakdown that they have. Versus here. I shit you not, I looked at this for 2 seconds and I'm like, when did Drake get added to the game? I'm actually so cooked. Okay. This is the new Wiki DPS calculator. Okay. So for those of you who are not in the know, earlier this year, the wonderful OS Resting Wiki released a very own DPS version, blah blah blah. It's kind of goated. Stupid gaming, especially MMOs, they really put to figure out how back your upgrade is for you and to determine whether the best loads are in any given situation or scenario. They've been around OS Rush for a really long time. Many of you have no doubt looked at the DPS calc spreadsheet and monumental frequently updated. Treat that's full of numbers, tricky master, dedicated community, particular bitter. I never know this guy's names. Looking to learn more about old school standard formula. The only problem is they don't have the overkill in the current one, I think. The overkill, which is important. But maybe that factors into the time to kill more. It can be unwieldy, and so yeah, the wiki team has a really good one. Post DPS values and elemental uses that take a look for yourself before you send you off to mess around though. Let's quickly break down what you'll see. What's this? 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the different styles they have here. Heavy, standard, and light. And then I'm guessing in the on the right, you'll see the results, and this seems like pretty straightforward, that's the thing, so I don't really want to spend too much time looking at this. On the right, you'll see results. Effectively, this section compares all your loads against the selected NPC stats and gives you some extra information so that you don't have to spend your valuable time crunching more numbers from top to bottom. The fields are max hit, the highest possible max hit for your chosen gear. Average time to kill is the number it takes your average TPS, and works out how long it would take for you to get through all of an opponent's HP. Attack roll, we won't explain how this one's calculated, but it's kind of like a dice with 1,000 sides. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Scrolling down the pages here with loadout roll, you will see reveals a loadout comparison graph. This hand shows how the DPS of all the loadouts versus varies as the NPC's defense decreases. Their handy lines include for NPCs to be blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Seems pretty good. Yeah, this is what I was thinking about, elemental skills, right? So, this is the weakness to earth spells. What if I was casting auto cast? Why is there manually casting earth blast? Okay, cool. I mean, overall, yeah, this is a very cool thing, but cool. All right, I like it. Let's see the changes they've made. Oh yeah, they have the open beta coming in. Be able to log into these roles, especially the open beta, where you'll see numbers and spreadsheets behind paper, just see how the stuff feels, which is honestly a good idea. I recommend this out to some people. Okay, cool. Let's look at the blog here. Which monsters they changed? Adamant Dragons I've talked about 1 billion times. I kind of just don't give a shit about Adamant Dragons, if I'm going to be honest with you. Baby Blue Dragon. What are they changing? New stab, new slash. Magic level's 1, so you're just gonna use magic on these guys if you're low level. Your elemental weakness is pretty high to water. Slash, new stabs. They're making stab better against them. It's just not that big of a deal because it's so low anyways. Crush defense, new heavy, okay. So for dragons, it's going to be, this meta is going to be to use heavy and stab against them pretty much. For Commander Ziliana, what has she changed? New heavy, she's going to also be heavy. Oh fuck, that's going to blow. What's her standard still? It's not that big of a deal. Okay, it hasn't changed that much. I don't know if this is going to change anything because our range defense is like 100 in all situations, so I feel like I'm just going to keep using my Bofa, but but I just don't think I don't have a comparable crossbow that's just as good or not. Corporeal Beast, sorry. Stab defense is 20 goes to 20, 25 to 20. Let's go, base. Oh, sorry. I read it wrong. What are they changing here? They're giving me the heavy, but like, you get a damage reduction on Corporeal Beast. Okay, so I don't know if you're gonna ever use that. Drake, you stab, you heavy. Okay. Fire Giant, the water bonus here. They said they wanted to give different variants for how they controlled this. Oh, wait a second. Totem and Nightmares 100. Pyre Fiend is 100. Water Fiend is 100. They might want to add some more variation to this. It's kind of a bit lame that it's just 50 or 100, 50 or 100. But we'll see. Why are they changing the Catacombs and Brimhaven versus... Oh, because the ones in Brimhaven are weaker? Interesting. I didn't know that. Also, why are they putting the stat defense here and the slash defense here and not doing that for this? Whatever. Not a big deal. Bapa. Weaker to heavy, I'm guessing. So I guess they're trying to pair. I don't think they're trying to do this, but it's kind of happening where stab and heavy is getting paired together. What about light defense? Is anything gonna have light defense? Like very weak enemies are gonna have light defenses. They're like weak. Okay, I'm kind of done with this. So far, thoughts, wrapped up my thoughts. Looks interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think every concern I had has kind of been mostly quashed, talked about. I do think the idea of, I don't really see anything that's like interesting down here that like I'm really curious about. Like magic is still never going to be that interesting to use on these guys. I mean, versus just using like a, what's it called? The best in slot gear, but it's nice. Fire being used against ice trolls might be interesting. This might shake up the meta for some people. For rune dragons, water might be interesting. We'll see if this is going to be really valuable, because what's the mage defense for water for rune dragons? Like, that's an interesting one. Oh wait, they're changing Duke Succulus's slash defense by a lot. Oh, not by a lot. Okay, what is it for? Look at like a rune dragon, for instance. Oh wait, they really lowered the defense for all of the rune dragon stats. So this is magic levels 196. Are they changing the magic level? No, they're not. So stab for rune dragon is 30. That's stab. Slash is 115 and 90 for crush. Magic defense is 30. What are they doing here? New stab is 20. New heavy is 65. Okay, not a big change, but because the magic level is still so high. I wonder if this is actually going to be very good to use magic against these guys. I'd have to. Let's go to the calculator and calculate it, right? Let's go check it out. So if I go here, endgame setups, and I go, yeah, Nightmare Staff, whatever, and I say, hey, go to a Rune Dragon. And for the spell, I don't just bash it, but I auto-cast, not Earth Surge, Water Surge. Is this going to be the new best in slot for killing these guys? Let's look at this. So if I'm using an Osmumten's Fang. Okay, no. So the well, let's do this in a realistic way, how you fight these guys. I mean, to be fair, you're not really going to be doing it with the mage because you'll just take shit tons of damage, and you can't really even use the Olympian Sword. So it's probably still going to be best to use well, it's a slash, and it's meant for stab. But yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. I think other than that, I'm done checking this out, and I'm going to go check out the other video, which is the new Varlamore update. So I'll probably upload this to the channel. Okay. Alright, let's look at the Varlamore updates. What do we got going on here? Have a little look-see. Changelog, April 3rd. Is this the quick one? This is the more specific details, or is this... We'll look at that in a second. Okay, let's go through this quickly. Perilous Moons and Coliseum drop rates. What do we got here? Alright, with every boss encounter comes the burning question, what are the drop rates for the rewards? Well, that wait is over. We're revealing the much anticipated drop rates for the Perilous Moons bosses. Here's what you need to know. Defeating the Moons of Peril boss grants you a 156 chance to secure a random item from their exclusive drop table. Can you go to the chest? I didn't even think you could go to the chest before you killed all of them. I thought you had to kill all of them. I don't really know. Okay, anyways. 156 chance of obtaining a piece of Blood Moon gear. So it's 156 to gain either this or this. So in the course of getting 3 Blood Moon armor pieces, you should get 3 dual Maquitals? That's kind of cringe to do that. Okay. Furthermore, upon defeating all 3 bosses in one run, you'll be given an additional 156 chance at any item. Oh, okay, so I guess you don't have to kill all of them. So if you're just going for a specific piece, you just fight it over and over again. But if you want to kill, yeah, this boosts your overall odds significantly to 114, making these rewards more common than the average Barrows item. In a move to enhance your looting experience, we've also implemented duplication protection, so this means that you won't receive duplicate items from a set until you've completed the set, ensuring smooth progression towards collecting all the set pieces. God fucking bless. This is so goated. Thank God. Okay, I'm happy with this. Cool. That's not that bad. 1 in 14. That's pretty quick. So that's like on average. If you're 1 in 14, you won't get any duplicate until you get the whole thing. So you could get duped. So if you're assuming you're on this 1 in 14 rate, you get a new item each time. There's what? 12 items? So 14 times 12. That's not that bad. I mean, you're gonna have to obviously go more because I said you could still get dupes once you completed a set. So you might get dupes once you complete the set, but that's actually not too bad at all. 168 is a really short grind. Very easy collection log to get there. I'll probably do that at some point soon. Coliseum drop rates. I have not done the Coliseum much because I'm not good enough at the game to beat it. I'm still trying to do the fucking Inferno. Okay. Crystal 6 is, okay, so it's your chance of being unique is static, and you just roll from the possible table of all uniques. The one Necro Crystal will also have a 1 in 10 chance of receiving 2 to 3 Necro Crystals instead. Obtaining these favorite pieces will you haven't already received, otherwise it's random. Obtaining these favor pieces. Obtaining these will favor pieces you haven't already received, otherwise it's random. Okay, so is it like it gives you a piece you haven't done, or is it just like weight it more to be like you can still get duplicates, but like you're less likely to have that. Okay, I'm assuming it means that you're not. I'm assuming it's just like this. You're not going to get dupes, but I don't know. I think that's kind of what it means. Small header is 1 in 200. That's not too bad for this grind. That's not that bad at all. Guaranteed upon complete for a pet grind. That's not too bad. Okay, cool. Once you've completed wave 6, and for each wave afterwards, the unique drop table is unlocked. So I guess you can go for collection log as long as you get to wave 6. Okay. The unique drop table is unlocked. If you roll on the table, you do not roll a normal drop for that wave. Glory will never affect your odds. If you roll on this table, you do not roll a normal drop table for that wave. Okay, so it's either unique or normal drop is how it always is. Okay. The base rate for rolling drop for unique drop table is 1 in 220. This number can be modified based on your current wave plus 1, which equals to. It's modified on your current wave plus 1. What does that mean? Is it multiplied by this, or this is like the numerator? No, it doesn't make any sense. What? I don't understand what this means at all. This is not clear. It's modified. 6 is a 108. So 1 in 220 to this. I don't get it. I don't understand what this is saying. Okay, that's just the rates. I'm not going to try to infer what this is meaning, but this is, I don't know what the hell this means. Maybe I'm mistaken, but this is what it is. Alright, if you're lucky enough to roll a unique drop table, a second roll will determine whether the which unique item you receive. Okay, otherwise you'll be rolling. Okay, so the Zaltix of Ralos is 1 in 10. Cool. Other rare items include blank, blank, blank. Okay, cool. The rolling an extra crystal will also 1 in 10 chance of receiving either 2 or 3, which is kind of base. Obtaining these hair pieces, blah. Cool. This is the updates that they're releasing. Cool, let's see what the updates they have. The range warbenders have been given a little buff, so their range a little more accurately reflects the rest of their stats. Watch out though, this means they will hit a little harder now. Yeah, this was something people were like, they expected, I think they were hitting like about 1 damage, and the people thought didn't know if it was a bug or not. But, I guess they're trying to fix that now. Reduce the warband's melee max to give you more of a chance of fighting back against those spells. Okay, so they're trying to like equal it out. Fine. Those taken on the Colosseum will now receive the correct number of glory for stacked modifier. That would have sucked if you weren't. We've upped the Colosseum security so you're no longer find NPCs wander around in the arena if they aren't supposed to be there. That's what they said. They said NPCs like naturally popping out of existence I think on the minimap, right? Interesting. All the Forest Colosseum NPCs now have their full and correct attack information when using Monster Examine. Okay, cool. You can now trade the Xana's Quiver for a total of 4,000 Spunflower Splendors by talking to Minimus. Okay, so you can actually get money for doing this. If you want to do that instead. Cool. We have slightly reduced the number of Sunfire Splendors in Wave 1 and increased the number gathered from 9 to 12, so while you'll receive 20% less splendors on your first one, you'll make it through the later rounds, you'll see a lot more. Okay. I don't think it's going to fix much, because it was like 6 mil an hour. Just going first wave and leaving, first wave and leaving. So it's going to be around like, what, 5 mil an hour still? This might have not been enough to change, but whatever. We're taking a look at the Eclipse boss and how much damage she's taken when low HP. So you should no longer hit so many ones. I didn't know that they took reduced damage based on the amount of health they had. Okay. Sulfur Nagwa's special attack will no longer bump them out of combat, which removes the window of opportunity for other pesky enemies getting the charm when they shouldn't. Fighting the Moon's boss, I didn't know this was even a thing. When fighting the Moon's boss, the Radiant Vertical will now correctly lose his charges. Okay. Sipping tea from camps in the ruins will no longer be delayed during perilous moons. Yeah, this is such a, like, just stuff like this, by the way, is one of the things that kind of annoys me in this game. It's pretty old. It's not a big. It's like it's just it really ruins the fun when you have actions that just interrupt what you're doing and you're just forced to stare at the screen. That just sucks. Like the number one thing that to me the other day was really annoying me was Pyramid Plunder. I was doing Pyramid Plunder and like literally my guy would just fist the damn urn for like 40 seconds looking around for something. And then if he got bit by a snake, he would just sit there for like 10 seconds, like, oh, it hurts. Which, I mean, like, I get it, but, like, it's so annoying. It just makes the game feel so much less fun. I'm so glad they're removing things like this. Just every time there's something like this, just remove it. Just give me the option to, like, go out faster. We've removed the forced camera movement when traversing perilous moons to make the journey more comfortable. I don't know what that means. Like, don't we have to force the camera to move? Whatever. To make it easier to escape the perilous moons boss, we made a quick escape option, the default option for the stairs. Okay. To reflect the lore around the Perilous Moons dungeon being newly discovered, you'll no longer find the diary entries detailing the dungeon's notions during the quest, only when you revisit the area. Okay, cool. Sure. It is now consistently possible to kill the Eclipsement during the clone phase, even with a single hitting weapons. We've now made it easier to tell when you've succeeded with the fishing minigame during a Potsley dungeon, so now that when you have your net in the right place, you'll guarantee 1 fish when you have it in the right place and succeed the roll, you'll receive 2 fish plus XP. They kind of needed to buff it because, yeah, they kind of needed to buff this because it wasn't clear. I could kind of tell when it wasn't 100% clear. You can now use the stab attack style with the dual acquittal. Oh! Okay, I kind of was wondering about that because I saw it had a huge OSRS dual. I can't spell it. I saw that it had a huge stab on it, and just never saw anything about it. Okay, spike, it's control. It's actually, like, these weapons, by the way, are kind of goated. We don't talk about it. Like, they have a really high crush bonus and a decent strength. They're a little weaker than the Abyssal Bludgeon, but it's essentially an Abyssal Bludgeon for 2 mil. And it's really good. Yeah, and with the Blood Rager set, it might actually be better than the Abyssal Bludgeon. It's just that the Abyssal Bludgeon you really want to use on, like, Slayer bosses and the Nightmare. I don't know if I'll be using this for the night. I mean, I probably will use the full setup on the Nightmare when I want to go farm Nightmare for a little bit, unless I get the, because I just don't think anything else is better for fighting the Nightmare unless I get the Scythe or something. Because the Abyssal Bludgeon is fine, but unless I'm using, like, full Torba, this is just going to be better. So, and actually, these are pretty cool. And Wildy bosses, I think the Abyssal Bludgeon's a little better, just because, or these are either comparable, like almost exactly the same DPS, because the Abyssal Bludgeon has really bad accuracy. Because I think it has, like, yeah, 102, so it's about 20 lower for 1 extra max hit. Which realistically, and this is 10 mil, this is 11 mil, this is so much more expensive. Yeah, it might be the case that the dual Maquidal are just way better than this for the Wildy bosses when you're killing, like, Calvarion and Calvarion, Vedion, or what's his name? Spindle or Venenatus, right? This might be worse. The only reason you use this is because of the Proselyte armor, but the dual Maquidal might be a really good alternative option, and they might even be slightly better just because of the extra accuracy bonus over the 1 strength. I don't know if they are, but I looked it up on the DPS calculator. The DPS calculator seemed fucked. It looked like it was really undervaluing how strong. Like, it's only going to be minorly weaker than this. So, yeah, I'll be using them for sure, because I don't want to have to go farm the Sire to get this, or it's so annoying to get the Bludgeon. Anyways. Cool. General. You can now cover all of your falconry fund with one-time fee. Thank God. Master Hunters can relax. We've added a fixed okay, this is all for the Hunters Guild, because from my understanding of the Hunters Guild, there was a lot of little things that were really not that good about it. So we'll see what changes they made. The big things for the Hunters Guild I saw was the re-rolling and the blocking system, which was kind of mandatory to make it work. And then there's actually a video by what's his name, Double Shine, who did a lot of content. I think he started. I mean, he might have been making videos before, but I kind of started to hear about him during leaks. And I think he actually made some remarkably good points for the Hunters Guild. And all the content in Varlamore did a good job kind of explaining what's good about it, what's bad about it, changes and buffs and works. Did a really good job laying out, and even gave some pretty good ideas and explained some things that made a lot of sense. Like in Hunter, it just seems like some of the decisions made for the Hunters Guild and the rumor system were cool, but just not thought about in terms of longevity of the system. And I think it's also the case with a lot of other stuff. Like for instance, you get the Hunters Guild stuff, you get the feed. What's the point of the Quetzal feed once you have all the sites built? You don't need to do anything with it anymore. That kind of sucks. What's the point of pelts? You can't even use them for crafting XP. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that that's just like, oh, it's a good point. They could have fixed that. The rumor system needs to have some changes made to it. Which is cool. I only done a couple of rumors. I only did it until I got access to the whistle. Then I kind of stopped because I only really wanted to get access to be able to fly to that patch in Civitas Illifortis, but in Fortis. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So there's a lot of cool points we made about this. But I think the Hunter rumor system is kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of other small things about it. Anyways, you can cover blah blah blah. Max capes, the Master Hunters can relax when you fix a bug. Use from preventing you from the Hunter Guild teleport skill. Max can use all of your Chinchompa teleports. The Huntsman's kit will not correctly let you store all of your Hunter items. However, Black Chinchompas will rigorously and won't be stored in your kit. That makes sense. Yeah. You've tweaked the way Hunter rumors work, so you'll get a little less dry on the drops from many of the rumor creatures. Okay, this is huge, because I was ignoring every fucking Chinchompa task because of how long they took. Some of the tasks I just ignored because they took so long. But some of the other tasks, like the falconry task, just immediately were over in seconds. A bug has appeared, has been fixed, which means that you will now be able to use the meat sack for hunter activities. You'll only be able to use the meat sack for hunter activities. Okay, I wonder what this means. This was the thing people were talking about, how there was this thing where the hunter sack, what you could do is you could store hunter meat in it and bring a log with you or whatever, and then like start a fire in the log and then cook the hunter meats while you were. So you could the whole point of the meat sack was that when you were doing hunter, you'd get hunter meats from capturing creatures. Then you put the hunter meat, you could get this hunter meat. It's like raw meat. You could put it in your sack, and you could take a log and like start a fire in like a place you weren't supposed to. Take the meat out of the sack, the raw meat, and then like cook it. And like that was kind of sick. It was cool thinking. I thought it was a really cool idea that somebody thought of. Horrible for the game. It should absolutely not have been in the game, but really cool idea that somebody thought about that as a way to, because you could bring so much food to extend trips. I mean, you could get to the argument of like, well, I mean, it's still better to bring like brews and stuff like that for high level accounts. Like, okay, I'm sympathetic to that idea, but like, I feel like this is like such an insane buff for such a low level and such a small thing. And it just feels so weird. I mean, I don't know. I could see it existing in the game. I don't personally enjoy it. I think it's way huge of a power upgrade that wasn't intended at all for how simple it is to get. But they fix it. And, but when they say that they're making it so that it's only used for hunter activities, I wonder what that means. If that means like it literally just won't activate, or it will only the thought a lot of people said, or at least I think this guy Doubleshine said, but a lot of other people said, was that you can just only deposit. You can store meats in it, but you can't take meats out. You can only deposit in the bank. That might be a good idea. Yeah. Anyways, we upped your tar range strength to 60, so you get a little bit more bang for your buck. See what we did there? A little bang for your buck. Fuck off. Fucking hell. Okay, the Moonlight Potion now has the correct description, factoring its boost to attack and strength along with side defense. Sure. For those, it's undertaken ripening until you can no longer escape certain villainous frog shots by walking away. Okay, I don't want to read this because I actually want to do this quest. I've heard this quest is really funny. I haven't done it yet. Worms are back on the menu, boys, and we made sure the worms are showing in the Slayer log. The stump in the Oasis no longer stops you from taking an axe if you are carrying a combat axe. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was an option. There's an Oasis. What about this? Oh. Also, by the way, nobody has ever looked at the Jerboa stuff, right? These new, like, is it here? Weaponry? Fletching? Yeah, hunter spears. No one's really talked about hunter spears. Which I think are... So they're kind of weird. So they have range accuracy, but they're based off of... They just like the Eclipse Atlatl, whatever it is, are based off of melee strength. So they're actually really cool with melee to use these. And they might be really good. I don't think a lot of people have talked about them. Yeah. I wonder how good they are. I've never seen people really talk much about it. They're kind of weird. Oh, but they might have ruined teak logs. No. I don't think they have. We're good. We're still good. Okay. Anyways, I was thinking about for like tick manipulation, the teak log stuff, you can like use them. I don't know, we'll see. It's all a separate thing. Doesn't matter. They might be actually pretty good if you use like full like Torva and stuff with that, you know? Like, I wonder if they're actually like a really strong option, but they're pretty slow. Like, you would use them in unique situations with melee just to have them as a way to throw something at a distance and attack something at a distance, you know, without having to swap to like range and do it. But I don't know. They're kind of interesting. But I don't think people really use it that much. 7 to symbol 4 to teleport to the port. The port lock says now it's the correct icon. Okay, cool. The Quaitals supporters have had a reshuffle. You'll now find more commonly used bird closer to. You'll now find the more commonly used bird closer to teleport. Oh. This actually might be really interesting for me, because so that's like here, this one. Because I've been using the Hunter Whistle, but I might just start using this when I was never trying to get to this patch here. I've been using the Hunter Whistle and running up here, because you can run here and then up here in the patch. But maybe I just teleport here. Because I promise I only have 5 charges on my list, so I have to go up here to the top of the thing and then to the top of the Hunter's Guild and recharge it every like couple of times I use it. Doesn't store a lot of charges, or maybe I'll just start taking a sip to some Fortis, teleport tablets, teleport, run to the burr, and then do that. It saves me the time of having to do all that stuff. Okay, maybe I'll start doing that going forward. Okay, we'll see. I'll have to test it out. We increase the nexus to pass to the pole nexus, so you can contain all teleports once again. An issue has been fixed with the Echo Boots who are losing charges in PvP scenarios. Okay. The mixed hide cosmic can now be stored in the POH costuming room. Group armor will not be able to share hunter. Share hunter mixes and butterflies in the group. We've reduced the clue scroll requirements to only one piece of somewhere out. We're set to complete it. Okay, that's fine. Sapphire glacial butterflies can now boost direct friends. They're released. Another one thing worth noting, you don't know Rose Farm will be fixed a bug where Sapphire rooms were giving XP per ring, rather than XP per essence used. At the time, this was being used to gain far higher rates of XP than intended. While we don't intend to revert back to those rates, we do want to make Sapphire rooms a bit more generous. As such, we're doubling the room crafts and XP for making them. Wait, what? Okay, so they don't want to go back to those rates of where it was used to these higher rates. We do want to make them more useful. So is this their intent? As such, we've doubled the XP given for making them. I wonder if it's been updated yet. And XP. And I think they've doubled this, right? So it's 18 now? I mean, it's kind of a huge cost to make them, so I'm not shocked. One Sunfire Splinter to make this. Holy fuck. That's crazy. That's a lot. Okay. Alright, I don't care about this right now. I'll look at this later. Okay, but there is next week. Alright. Interesting stuff so far. Pretty excited for most of the changes. I think they'll be interesting. I'm gonna check out the Perilous Moon stuff a little bit more. But right now, I've been doing this for a little bit. I kind of want to start doing the Inferno right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. I'll give these to the channel a little bit. And record the videos. I am going to now finish off this inventory. And then we're gonna do a run, and then die horrifically, and then be very upset about it. What should I have here in terms of blood wounds? Let's go. Thank you. I'm just gonna go hard and shit. I'm actually going to go run to the next. I'm going to click the next place. I'm going to get some water, so I'll be back in a second. I venerate these. Or I'll go do the Inferno run quickly. Well, die, and then, be sad about it, and then probably log off for the night, because I don't have a lot of time left. course I'm fucking muted on my mic. I can never tell. Fuck me. Okay, anyways, we're gonna swap to Ancients, then we're gonna go to Grand Exchange. And then we're going to get all the gear we need for the Inferno, and then like restock on stuff, and then call it good. Is this the Quetzal bird? That's the Phoenix. Okay, that was pretty cool actually. Alright. What are we gonna need here? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna bring the Aram's rope skirt anymore. I've seen a lot of guides, people aren't really using it. I don't need it. I kept bringing it, but like I was running out of prayer and stuff like that with gear, so I don't think I need it as much anymore. Okay, as far as I want to buy some more death runes and soul runes. What I get here? Nope, I don't want to buy. I want to sell this. Sure. Death runes, please. Thank you. I know we lost money, but that's because the Inferno is fucking expensive. Okay, cool. And deposit the rest in here. What else do we need for the Inferno? We have good supplies here. That's fine. Oh, charges for this. How much do we have? Okay. I think we're probably okay. I just want to be at 2,000 dragon darts. So, dragon darts. Dragon darts. 400 of these. Man, they're so fucking expensive. Maybe I should just use... No, I'm not going to use amethyst. Fuck that. I'm not going to be cheap. Should be good for now. Yeah, I think we're good overall. Okay, we're good to go. What are we doing? How are we doing on these? It's enabled. Okay, cool. Go to my favorite area in the game. Big lava people. Dude, I like charged my ring of recoil like one time because I just bought like I got like a certain number of rings of recoil. I just had them in my bank for Zulrah. I just got the Zenite. I was like, oh, I should make a ring of suffering. It's like actually pretty valuable to have this, and it was just worth a stupid amount of money because I was a stupid amount of charges because it's like what 69 divided by 40. Did I have 1,000 rings of recoil on me? I don't even remember how many I had. It's so cheap to keep this item charged. It's ridiculous. Okay. We're gonna actually take an extra 2 of them, I guess. Whatever. And then we'll bring... I really just want to have the prayer. The prayer is the thing I'm the most worried about, to be honest with you. I didn't mean to do that, that's okay. That Bastion Dose Strength I'm going to put on that so I can get to the earlier waves faster. I think we're okay. So quicker prayers to be like this. Yeah, that's good. Oh, and then also I didn't think it to be... Okay, I guess I can't really change it right now. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. I kind of fucked that freeze up there. Wow, Jesus. I kind of fucked that up a little bit. That was a really bad wave there. I should have used my, yeah, I should have used my, what's it called? I can't even think straight. SGS. That's what I'm thinking. I always feel like I take... Oh, what am I doing? I should be over here. I take so much damage from blobs, I just really shouldn't be taking. Like this is like what I'm talking about. Like I'm just not, I don't pay enough attention to them, and I take a lot of damage I just shouldn't be taking from blobs. I lose a lot of health because of it. I'm gonna turn down the speaker. We're gonna turn off idle notifier. It's kind of annoying me right now. We're gonna turn down the volume for me a little bit. Just because I really need to focus on... It's probably gonna be a little lower for you guys, but I really need to focus on this stuff right now. Like, how I missed that. I didn't really check that the world quality was really that good before I did this. I fucked that up again. Son of a bitch. I'm just making like really stupid mistakes against the blobs. I don't know why. That's a sign that I shouldn't be doing this right now. just missing these guys. Fuck me. Just like focused on this right now. I gotta turn the tick song on my place. I really don't like it that much. And I kind of just want to die because I've just been using up so much. I'm just like fucking up. Holy shit! What am I doing? I'm actually just gonna turn this off because I really need to focus and just turn this music on. Because like I am struggling. I don't know why. Okay. Get my shit together. Sorry, I got a weird itch there for a second. I don't know what I'm all fucking fumbling. I'm just not doing a good job here. We don't really need range, it's gonna be a melee here. I don't know if I'll be able to hit that guy. Oh, I can just go chase him. What am I doing? Like, I'm like trying to like think in like a weird way when I really don't have to do that. I'm so cooked today. I can just tell I'm making such stupid mistakes. Actually, like the first, like, somewhat reasonable solve. Jesus. We're just gonna kill these guys first. Wow. Like, I know I don't really want to be chasing nibblers, but like I don't want to have my pillars go down like immediately at the start. Yeah, this is not looking like a good run today. That's all I gotta say. Should I be killing him here or killing this guy? I'm gonna kill this guy. How did I get hit by that? I just don't want to be at such a low health at the start of the game, at the start of this run. I thought I was praying for a melee. I'm just making so many dumb mistakes. This is why I die, because I just don't... being dumb. Like, just dumb. Well, not being dumb. It's just... clicks are just not happening, for whatever reason. Not being careful enough, not being precise enough. I'm so tempted to go around that side. I don't know why I'm so tempted to go around that side. That's gonna kill me, just missing the blobs. Someone just tried to call him. Sorry, I'm just setting alarms for tomorrow that are pretty important. Of course. I just feel like you have to, like, I just don't have the speed to do it all. I'm just gonna tank a hit every time. Nice. Moved out of the way. I'm actually like, I might just quit, because I'm actually just very, very frustrated and not having a good time right now. Not because of this, just because some other stuff, I'm just getting some texts that are very upsetting. I don't want to deal with them. So I might just leave to go deal with it. Actually, it's really affecting my enjoyment of what I'm doing here. So I'm kind of just like tempted to just get off. I'm not really focused on this right now. Yeah, I'm gonna get off. I'm not feeling this right now. It's just, yeah, I'm dealing with some important stuff in my personal life. I'll let my guy die, it's no biggie, because I just gotta take care of this. Okay, alright, well, I gotta get out of here. So, thanks everybody that showed up. Appreciate it. I don't know when the videos are gonna go live on the channel, probably soon. I want to get them out probably tonight. But we'll see, no promises. I might get distracted by something and forget. Alright.